How do you get over a training plateau? Find out in today's Q&A. Hey everyone, Selwyn here from Wynn, where the goal of the channel is to help you get a little bit stronger every single day. Thanks for clicking on another 5-minute Friday Q&A, where I attempt to answer your questions in under 5 minutes. So today's question is just addressing how to get past the training plateau, because we've all been there. If you would like your own question answered, drop a comment below and I'll get to that in a future video. So let's start that timer. So hitting a plateau in your training is something that can be very frustrating. I mean, we've all been there, I've been there. And on this video, I'll talk about why it happens and what to do about it. So it's happened to all of us at some point in time or another. We're training consistently each week. We're putting in more and more weight. We're increasing the reps. We're increasing that volume. We're seeing some great progress. We're feeling good. Our shirts are feeling tighter. Everything's just falling into place. Then all of a sudden, the weight you think you can rep out for 10 reps suddenly doesn't go up for 5 reps. Feels like you've hit a brick wall. So you think, maybe it's just today. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep. Maybe I didn't get enough pre-workout. So you go back into the gym next day, take double the amount of pre-workout you have, you got a good night's sleep, and yet again, you've stalled out at the exact same weight you were doing the week before. You've hit your genetic ceiling is running through your head. Might as well throw in the towel now, put you out to pasture, stop training, because you've hit your limits. You've hit the physical capacity of what your body's able of doing. Welcome to the training plateau, where you were in gains and progress purgatory, where your progress seems to be disappeared, where your gains seem to have disappeared down a vortex and you're making no progress no matter what you try and do. For the next month, it seems like you're not training at all and your progress has disappeared. So why does it happen? In the most simplest of terms, basically your body has gotten used to the stress that you're applying to it. It has nothing new to adapt to. So it's not producing any further adaptations because the body doesn't like to change. So how do we get through the plateau? First off is obviously don't quit. Because when you quit, you pretty much say goodbye to any future gains whatsoever. But that's a bit obvious there. But unfortunately, as you get more and more training years under your belt, the slower progress is going to be. So it's going to seem like you're hitting this training plateau when you might have started off training like this, then all of a sudden that curve flattens out a lot. And now what seems to be progress each week could take months and then take several months. And now you're only seeing progress every year or so. Eventually you'll hit a point where that's the case. So look at your recovery resources. Things like, are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating enough calories? Are you getting enough protein? Are you relaxing and making sure other stresses in your life aren't there to take away from the body's resources that it has available to it? You'll have to look at more ways to de-stress around the rest of your life, just so you can shuffle more resources to where you want them to go. For the most part, your body doesn't know what's good stress and what's bad stress. So if you're going through a really stressful time at work, at family, wherever that may be, it's probably going to divert resources to that than it is to training and getting stronger, just because this is probably a bit more important to get through than training is. And then on the flip side of that, you're going to have to look at ways to add more stress to your training. If you've hit a plateau, generally, that means you're not stressing the body enough in the right ways to signal that you need it to change. For example, if you've only ever been doing 3 sets of 10, maybe that progress is stalled out. So when that happens, look at doing, say, 4 sets of 8, or even 2 sets of 5, or 5 sets of 2. Look at different ways to change the rep ranges and push yourself to the RPE 8s and 9s in that rep range. That way you'll be able to change the stimulus and force some new adaptations that way. Conversely, you could be training too hard and demanding too much of the body. So again, context specific here. Maybe you're trying to do too much to the body, so your body can't really figure out what it needs to do as to how to adapt to the training you're trying to achieve. So I can't be trying to run a marathon and become a world-class powerlifter at the same time, because those two goals are so divergent from each other. And even when you come down to trying to get bigger and trying to get stronger. Building muscle mass is slightly different than it is to building strength. And at the start of your training, they're going to just go along nice. They're going to pair nicely. You're going to be able to train both of them simultaneously. But at a certain point, they do start to diverge, and you're going to have to change the way you train in order to progress in both muscle size and muscle strength. And finally, are you training with a plan? One of the big things that changed from my progress in recent years has been following training programs. Final point has just been getting a plan around my training so that there is structured paths of progress and progressive overload. That way, I'm not kind of just doing whatever I want, whenever I want, because that's not the best way to get around there. It's like getting in a car and trying to drive without having an end destination in mind. Hopefully that helps with your training. This has been Selwyn from Wynn Strength, and remember to never stop learning and to never stop lifting.